said. The Ivory Brigade has need of you. You look like you've got your wits about you. Care to make a bit of extra gold working for Leowin's Ivory Brigade? I've been asked by my captain to find someone who can handle themselves. We need help with a delicate situation. Deadly secrets, assassins, murder. Now apparently a counselor has gone missing. Between the war, bandits, and cultists, the Ivory Brigade is like the Nord that tries to plug a leaking cask of mead, only to realize he doesn't have enough fingers. Talk to my commander, Captain Rian Lior. You can find him just outside the city gates, trying to appease some of the nobles. Tell him I sent you, and he'll put you right to work, I'm sure.
The mead might not be good here, but the competition is. My blood is pumping just thinking about facing off against the Fire Drakes and Storm Lords again.
Are you aware of our patron, Saint Alessia? Oh, another brave soul seeking the blessing of the White Strake. Though I am not as knowledgeable as Sacerdote Aloysia, I do know the account of Pelinal's mid-year massacre by heart. Indeed, it's quite popular. All the soldiers want double rewards for their efforts on the battlefield. It's Pelinal's mid-year massacre, celebrated by Imperials since the fall of the Aelids. We remember the White Strake's slaughter of elves at Helden Bridge, the key to capturing the Imperial city, before it was Imperial, mind you. If you know the legend of Pelinal Whitestrake and Saint Alessia, you're on the path to understanding. If not, well, those who accept the blessing are renowned for their brave deeds in days thereafter. Surely that's something your people value. Holy Writ states that at the Battle of Helden, fierce Pelinal's face and hair were covered in the blood of righteously slaughtered Aelids. Anoint yourself likewise in honor of his prowess, and return to me. Once we preached Alessia's truth in the temple district of the Imperial City, before its siege and sacking by Molag Bal. Many fell, but many fled, to carry on our work outside the city walls. He was the firebrand who led the fight for freedom against our brutal taskmasters, the Aelids. We hold that his actions were divinely inspired. The Bridge of Helden was one of his many victories, unifying the tribes of men against the elves. The elves sought to blockade the northern bridge, driving back Nords sent to reinforce Saint Alessia's army. The White Strake, ever eager for elven blood, assaulted their lines and slew them, every one, before the Nords could even ready their arms. Once a slave, the dragon god himself inspired her to rise up and rally the men of Cyrodiil to overthrow their Aelid masters. Pelinal and Morahouse were her trusted confidants, and, depending on their translations, either or both were her lovers.
Let me answer what I'm sure is your most pressing question. Why, yes, I do have a crown for sale amid my offerings. Take a look. I keep...
Have you ever tried this field brew? I've been up for 3 days straight. Astounding stuff. I'm selling it. Come give it a try.
You don't need to wipe off any blood from your last match before browsing my goods. Blood's a good addition to any of my wares.
So, how was it? Speak! Do you feel invigorated, imbued with righteous power, or perhaps struck dumb with awe by a vision of Saint Alessia herself? Go ahead, reveal to all your holy transmogrification. Oh, well, everyone's experience is different, to be sure. But don't let that keep you from getting out there and making a legend for yourself. The White Strake will walk in your steps and goad you to righteous fury. Though Pelinal is seen as a controversial figure by some, none can dispute the mark he left on our land and culture. And so we cry, "Hail the White Strake!"
Prepare yourself fully before entering battle, combatant. You want every advantage you can take before facing other teams. My gear might also help.
You have my word. If the Count... Not now, citizen. Can't you see I have my hands full at the moment? I'm sure a guard or one of my brigadines can assist you. Why didn't you say so? Leowin's problems are legion, and now the Wood Elf Archer's predictions seem to be coming true. Damn these old Imperial secrets. Councillor Daedric has disappeared, and the Ivory Brigade is already spread too thin for my liking. The Wood Elf, Everly Sharparrow. She brought news that the Dark Brotherhood was targeting members of the Elder Council, all because of some secret of the Longhouse Emperors. We took her warning seriously, but Daedric refused Brigadine protection. With that guild of assassins, I'm not sure what to think. But Daedric is missing, and I don't have enough brigadines at the ready to conduct the proper search. You look capable. So, care to earn some gold and help us determine the Councilor's fate? Here, let me update your map. These are places Daedric visits during her daily routine. If something befell her, it happened somewhere along this path. Meanwhile, I have Everly Sharparrow checking locations in the city. She was very eager to help. Everly Sharparrow is an adventurer from Valenwood, though I get the sense she's relatively new at the job. She recently arrived with news of a threat against the former members of the Imperial Elder Council. I was skeptical at first, but now... She told us that the late Emperor Leovic's steward was murdered by the Dark Brotherhood. Apparently, it pertains to some secret of the Longhouse Emperors, but those details she discussed with Councillor Leviticus. Everly found a number of documents pertaining to this secret. One of these contained a list of names. The steward and some of the councillors. She assumed that since the steward had already been killed, the rest of the list might be next. On paper, Countess Caro rules Leowin, but in practice, the Chamber of Legates governs the city. Legates Tabezako and Amhalu, and Councillor Leviticus. They handle day-to-day tasks. Me? I'm commander of the Ivory Brigade, Leowin's militia. Indeed. Since the fall of the Empire, the Ivory Brigade had to redouble its efforts to replace the Imperial legions. We maintain active defenses in the north to keep the ongoing war at bay, but we have our hands full with refugees, bandits, and such. The Three Banners War. Let the alliances fight over the Ruby Throne as long as they leave us in peace. I just wish I had more soldiers to spare for this new threat that Everly Sharparrow brought to our attention. Councillor Daedric was a member of the Imperial Elder Council, back when we still had an empire. Now her title is mostly ceremonial, but she continues to assist the legates by serving as an intermediary with the local nobility. Since the collapse of the Empire and the dissolution of the Elder Council, Leowin has become an independent city-state. Countess Caro sits on the throne, but the Chamber of Legates governs the city. I suppose the Countess is technically the highest authority in Leyawiin, but she leaves the administration of the city to the Chamber of Legates. Leviticus, another former council elder, leads this august body, along with Tebeziko and Amhalu. Councillor Jirik is a creature of habit. Her daily routine is to stroll along the river and stop to read near a cave across the way. While Everly Sharparrow examines spots the councillor frequents in the city, you should check these locations. Everly Sharparrow.
Captain, are you really trusting the fate of Councillor?
Hear ye, card sharps and collectors. Test your wits and courage in a brand... Hey there, you've got a hungry look. The eye of a real competitor, I can see it. Well, my friend, Tales of Tribute is the game for you. It's a game, of course. A card game, to be precise. Full of twists and thrills and canyon-deep strategy. I've been traveling around recruiting new players. It's been a lot of walking, but seeing the joy of new players makes it worth every step. Ha! Hooked another one! If you want to learn the game, you should travel to Gonfalon Bay on High Isle and talk to my friend Bragas. You'll find him at the City Gaming Hall. He'll get you sorted. I wish you safe travels and good luck in the game. You are going to have such a grand time. I can still remember my first win. Such a thrill. I'm actually on my way back to Gonfalon Bay myself, so I'll see you there. Well, there's a bit of selfishness there. Our tribute chapter, the Gonfalon chapter, needs some new blood. But we make it worth your while. We handle all the registration fees, membership dues, and so on. It's a win-win.
You can never have too many cats. And yet, Leyawiin seems to be more of a dog town. I am hoping to change that person by person.
Please, I was once like you.
Counselor Daedric? Oh, pardon me. You're not the counselor. Apologies. I heard you stumbling about and thought it might be Counselor Daedric. Oh, no one important, I assure you. I'm simply one of the counselor's aides. I help her with paperwork mostly. Run errands, that sort of thing. She initially refused the captain's offer, but she received a letter that made her uneasy. Last I saw, she was headed back to the city by way of the Eastern Gate. But she never returned to her manor, so I came to look for her. Please, find her.
Someone! Anyone! Help me! I refused to believe, but Farrell, Leviticus, they were right. I was attacked. An assassin. You must warn the others. The counselors. Leofic's secret. It will be the death of us all!
Counselor Daedric! Damn, we're too late! Damn it, I'm too late. Poor Counselor Daedric. She didn't deserve to die like that. At least I don't think she did. Did you see what happened? Who attacked her? The mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Just like with Farrell Lupus. Sorry. I'm working for Counselor Leviticus, the head of the Chamber of Legates. I came to Leowyn to warn him after I stumbled across some secret concerning the Longhouse Emperors. It relates to something called the Four Ambitions of Mehrunes Dagon. I think they're Daedric weapons, but I'm still puzzling that out. I was working for Farrell Lupus before he was murdered. Found a strange tome with Daedric markings at his behest. Yeah, that's what brought me here. I found a list of names. Farrell Lupus and members of the Elder Council. It said they all knew something about this secret. Since Farrell was murdered, I figured the others were in danger too. Looks like I was right. Let me have your map. I'll mark where Councillors Valeria and Sophis were last seen. Go warn them, convince them to take precautions. Then meet me at Counselor Daedric's manor in the city. Maybe we can find something to shed more light on this secret. I'll get the city guards to come and gather the Councillor's body. She shouldn't just be left out here. Then I'll head to Counselor Daedric's manor. When you're done checking on Counselor Valeria and Counselor Sophis, meet me there. So Farrell Lupus hired me to retrieve a book from a retreat once used by the Longhouse Emperors. He never told me what it was, and he died before I could ask. The book is weird. It has weird pages and weird markings, and I can't read a word of it. Not much. Farrell's partner said he planned to use it to make things right, but she didn't know how. And it's Daedric, I think. I will say, carrying it, it's kind of a burden. And I've been having strange dreams. But I don't want to talk about that. Like I said, it all started when I found that strange tome for Farrell Lupus, and Emperor Leovic's journal. It was in code, but I got it translated. Sent me to a few hidden imperial caches where I learned that the Longhouse Emperors had a secret. Right, but it turned out I wasn't the only one trying to learn more about the ambitions. A group of cracked acorns called the Order of the Waking Flame. Fanatic Mehrunes Dagon cultists. Had to put arrows in more than one of those bastards. I guess someone hired them to eliminate everyone who knows about the secret. The question is, who? And I was told by a more or less friendly Dremora named Lyrinth that the fate of our world was at stake. So of course I want to figure this all out.
I love talking to customers, but you're probably here to speak to the impresario. She's right over there. Predicant Mayra and her flock of bloodthirsty priests venerate Saint Alessia, the patron saint of humanity. Around this time of year, they recruit warriors into their festival where the alliances rally for war. To join in on this violent mayhem, find Predicant Mayra at your alliance's gatehouses in Cyrodiil, or possibly at any Battlegrounds rally camp throughout Tamriel. Mind what's in their punch bowl, though. A busy time!
Not much of a one for competition, personally. I do enjoy a friendly wager, though.
Magic! Fascinations to beguile your very imagination. Peddlers will tell you about the strength of their craft, but words are nothing to an intelligent person such as yourself, which is why I show you proof of my abilities. For a fee, I could lend my magical might towards whichever end you seek. A coin and I would be delighted to comply. What captivates your soul? To witness life through another's brows? The soar in freedom between the clouds? To see to those wrapped in shrouds? Into the air with you I command. There may be danger when you land.
Stay alert. I have it on good authority that I'm in danger.
Of course.
Step back and state your business. I have every reason to believe that my life is in danger. If you so much as make a threatening gesture, the Brigandine will dismember you. He has very strict orders on that regard. I was beginning to suspect as much. Very well. Tell me everything that you have learned. Leave nothing out. I want to hear it all. Lupus. Emperor Leovik's old steward? And Jirik as well? Gods, they are targeting the Elder Council. Anything else? Tell me. The slightest detail could mean the difference between life and death. The ambitions? I heard that term once before, years ago. I must go to Tidewater Cave. I have a cache hidden there, and I need to check my records. Meanwhile, I suggest you find Jirik's files. She kept them in a hidden compartment in her nightstand. Extremely well. We were rivals as well as colleagues on the Elder Council. It was that way between all of the counselors, I suppose. Her death is a tragedy, however. I will miss her. Possibly. I oversaw the Imperial Treasury, so my records deal with expenditures and collections. I have documents going as far back as Emperor Morikar, possibly even Durkarach, and I know I saw that term someplace. I will see what I can find.
My orders are to protect the Counselor, and I take my orders very seriously. Bear that in mind and keep your hands away from your weapons. Do that, and we'll get along fine.
pet the dog. It's harmless. Oh, Tertia, you idiot. No wonder he hasn't... Is there something you want? I'd like to be left alone right now. Body? Ring? Oh, Riemann on high, what's this about? Aloysius wrote this? And he's dead? This makes no sense. Howling, chicken coops, it was just a mangy mutt. I don't even think it was rabid, let alone... Oh no, Aloysius. You poor fool. He wasn't cursed. He was hallucinating. The toad that Argonian used to ease his pain must have been too strong for him. Aloysius convinced himself he was a werewolf, and he... This is the second worst proposal I've ever had. I was once kidnapped by a crazed Sulzan warlord and offered the heads of my neighbors as a dowry. I'd rather not talk about it. I've had more than a dozen failed engagements in my life. If anyone here is cursed, it's me. But it's not all bad news. Aloysius didn't run off and leave me like half the others. He even gave his life to protect me. I've never had anyone love me that much. Is it wrong that makes me happy? Take this, for delivering my betrothed's last wishes. It was kind of you. I wonder if the Temple of Mara would marry us posthumously. It was his dying wish, after all. Maybe I should employ a priest of Arche for the ceremony, so he can pass on without regrets? Well, why not? I've had absolutely no luck with the living, and it's what he wanted. I'd rather die a widow than an old maid. It's not like this is how I dreamed of getting married, but after being jilted so many times, I may as well marry a man who can't change his mind. You may not get it, but for your sake, I hope you never have to.
We weren't expecting visitors. Are you here to speak with Counselor Sophis? I'm afraid my husband has taken our dog for a walk. Is there something I could help you with, perhaps? Danger? What are you talking about? Does this have something to do with that letter? And who are you, by the way? Captain Rianne? I see. Well, if the Ivory Brigade sent you, my husband likes to walk our dog Chero along the tree line. Go on and find him. I'll wait here in case he returns. My husband, Valen, received a letter from an old friend this morning. Farol Lupus, Emperor Leovic's steward. I could see that whatever was in that letter upset him, but he didn't want to discuss it, and I didn't push him. Now please, go find him. What's taking you so long? They should...
Valen! No! Oh, Valen! Oh, my love! What happened? I thought Captain Rianne sent you to protect my husband!
You know, Valen acted strange after the letter from Farol Lupus arrived. He didn't tell me what it said, and I never asked. Before he left today, he gave me a sealed scroll, said to give it to Counselor Leviticus if anything ever happened to him.
A scroll, sealed and bearing my husband's stamp. Take it. Give it to Counselor Leviticus. I hope it helps catch whoever murdered my husband. I'll summon the town guard. They'll help me with my husband.
You look like a hardy soul, unconcerned with the prospect of death by trick, trap, or misadventure. How do you feel about helping a defenseless scholar from Gideon unearth a little history from Undertow Cavern? Oh, and can you swim? Have you heard of Phaelivon the Magnificent? He was a famous Nibonese Minotaur hunter, but his final resting place was lost to time. After years of searching, I think I finally found the site of Phaelivon's mausoleum. I hope to recover proof that this is Phaelivon's tomb. His armor, helm, and sword would do nicely. But I didn't get far before I found the cavern overrun with goblins and minotaurs, and parts of it are flooded. I'll pay you well to help me. No one in Leyawiin realizes that Undertow Cavern is the final resting place of a great hero. Let me secure my belongings and I'll meet you inside. Time to grab the bull by the horns and wade right in. I found accounts of Phaelivon's burial in a shining mausoleum on a hill outside Leyawiin. He was laid to rest with his arms and armor, relics of his many victories. This is the place, but goblins infest the caverns, and minotaurs too. That's because it was swallowed by the earth. One night, 700 years ago, people living nearby heard a terrible sound. When they came to look in the morning, they found that the whole mausoleum had fallen into the caves underneath the hill. Because the caves beneath this hill were the site of Phaelivon's last and greatest battle. The mausoleum was a monument to his victory, as well as his tomb. Until Undertow Cavern swallowed it up anyway. You would be, I suppose. Well, Phaelivon the Magnificent had a golden helm. He wore armor of impervious mail, and he wielded a sword of exceptional sharpness. As I understand it, the helm was a gift from the Lord of Leyawiin in gratitude for Phaelivon's many heroic deeds in Blackwood. The stories say it was fashioned in the shape of a roaring dragon's face. Well, it has been many hundreds of years. I suppose Phaelivon's arms and armor might not be much to look at now, but in any condition they would be of immense historical value. I simply know it. I suppose goblins aren't much of a surprise. They infest many caves in this region, although I had hoped I wouldn't run into any. The minotaurs I didn't expect. None have been seen so close to Leyawiin in centuries. That's the very question I was wondering about. Wherever they came from, these minotaurs seem very hostile. Enraged, even. I've heard all kinds of fighting inside. I think they're angry at the goblins. Do minotaurs and goblins get along?